Now back to Trump on trial. In 2016, a doorman at Trump Tower peddled a story to the National Enquirer about Donald Trump fathering a child out of wedlock. The tabloid bought the rights to the account, keeping the doorman from sharing it anywhere else, and then instead of running it, buried the story instead. That's just one example of a tabloid industry practice known as catch and kill. Tre Lovell joins us now. He's a defamation attorney who has a law firm in Los Angeles. Tre, thanks for being here. Yesterday, we heard David Pecker talk about his use of catch and kill when he ran the National Enquirer. As simply as you can, what is catch and kill, and why is it important to understanding the hush money case?
Sure. So catch and kill is a policy or a practice sometimes within the publishing industry where you obtain the rights to a story and then you elect not to publish it. And you have the choice because you've obtained the rights from the person who the story is about or who wrote it. They've been compensated, and now the publisher owns the rights, and they can determine whether or not they want to get it out there. And the reason it's applicable to Stormy Daniels is because that's what happened here. She had a story about being with Donald Trump. The Enquirer purchased the rights to that story, and then would have had the right not to publish it. And so it falls within this common practice of the publishing industry and the broadcast industry. It just happens to be highlighted here in one of the biggest cases going on right now.
We also learned from yesterday's testimony that the National Enquirer didn't just help Donald Trump with catch and kill. We understand it also ran false negative stories about Trump's Republican rivals. Was that legal, Tre? Can you expand a little more on the legality behind it all?
So that may be a little more questionable. It is totally legal and acceptable for a publisher, a journal, to endorse a candidate of their own liking, of their own choosing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of the First Amendment, and it's helpful to certain people. However, when the candidate himself is working with the publisher to then determine not only what publishes on behalf of him that's beneficial, but maybe negative against his opponents, that may be a little more questionable. And that certainly has come to highlight for the first time, really, in a major trial. And that's going to be issues for the jury to determine.
I'm sure a lot of folks might be wondering, if you're a celebrity or a politician, how do you keep a tabloid from lying about you?
It's extremely difficult. Tabloids, based on the First Amendment and the constitutional rights, have the ability to go out into the press and publish what they wish, as long as they're not violating somebody's rights, committing defamation, invading somebody's right to privacy, using somehow as harassment. There's the freedom of the press. And, celebrities often are at the whim of the press. And, for not lack of trying, celebrities, on and on have tried to stop stories from getting out there through demand letters, through attorneys. But the press has a lot of freedom, and it's their choice. And so it's very difficult for a celebrity to stop a bad story unless they can demonstrate, hey, it's defamatory, and it's defamatory, or you're reckless in the reporting. You really can't do anything about it.
And real quickly, how different is our tabloid system compared to that of, say, the British media?
We have a much more open right to the press here. The British media, there is a freedom of press, but it's more constrained. Here, it's very important for people, publishers, broadcasters, anybody to be able to exercise their right to free speech. And, the Supreme Court, the government, they're going to protect that right. And when you walks a fine line between, is it really protected speech, or is it crossing the line where it's actually defaming somebody, it's disclosing private facts, it's turning into bullying or harassment? At that point, you can stop it. But the presumption's gonna fall with the right to say what you want to say and exercise your freedom of speech.
Got it. Hey, 30 seconds left, Tre. Do you believe the prosecution in the Trump trial will ultimately succeed in linking this effort to keeping negative stories about him quiet to the allegations of falsifying business records?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, I think the case in general is very tough against Trump. I mean, they're taking, they're taking a non-disclosure agreement, which is very legal, and even if it's tapped into a catch and kill scheme, which is still on its face legal, they're trying to tie that to a false indications and reporting into the books, and then into a separate crime. There's just so many bridges to cross and dots to cross and dots to link together. I think they have a real uphill battle.
Okay. All right. Defamation attorney Tre Lovell, thanks again for coming on tonight. We appreciate it. Well, that does it for us here.